Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Justina, and if you're not new here, I know you want to kill me. Kill me for not uploading, for not being consistent, and I'm so sorry. It's not because I don't want to do this, it's literally because sometimes I get inside my head and I'm like, should I not? But this is something that I definitely want to do, so I'm definitely going to come out with more tutorials, and I would say continue watching. So if you're interested on how I got this look today, definitely continue watching. This is my everyday look. This is something that I wear all the time when I'm getting quickly ready just to throw on a makeup look and get out the door. So I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial and continue watching. So to begin, I'm going to go in with my Smashbox Primerizer. This moisturizer is really good. It's very hydrating, and that's what I love about this. I focus this on the perimeters of my face, and then I go in with another primer. I know I said perimeters, but I do really want moisture all around. My face has definitely been dry lately. And I do have to watch out for my eyebrows. I just like try to play myself as if they weren't already drawn on. So definitely be careful. If you already drawn your eyebrows as your first step, definitely be careful going around them with foundation and your primer. So I use one pump of that primerizer, and I'm going to go in with this Tarte primer. This definitely helps out with the pores. It makes sure that you're definitely poreless. So I place this in my T-zone. So I'm just going to put this on my nose. Actually, you should kind of like warm it up, but I'm going to put that on my nose and on my forehead, and I just drag this down like midsection of the face. This is where most of my pores are shown. And I want to say the nose is kind of a problem area for me. So definitely get the forehead, and I swipe down the nose. And then this makes sure that when I place the foundation down, that there isn't going to be like any pore showing through. So now that I have two primers on my face, I'm going to go in with this L'Oreal Pro Glow, and I'm in the shade 205. I love this foundation so much. It's a medium coverage, so it still allows my freckles to show through. Usually I'm a full coverage kind of girl, but lately I've been loving medium coverage. So I just took that on a Morphe Sponge, and I'm just going to place this all over my face. Just remember, you want to be careful if your eyebrows are already completed. I know everybody does their makeup in different steps, which is really cool and very unique too. Like, I do my eyebrows first, but I know people love to get their foundation on as the first step. Or for me, it's brows and then my eyeshadow and then it's my foundation. I know a lot of people do it so many different ways. So I'm going to take this concealer and place it under the eye first. So for now I have it placed under the eye, but we'll go in with more. So I'm just going to buff this out. You know, it's funny, yesterday I was doing makeup with my friend, and we both talked about how our routines are so different, which is also really cool. So we got to see how each other's makeup routine went, and I think it's also cool. We were talking about like when's the first time we actually played with makeup, and for her experience it was like in 9th grade, and she was talking about how she started out with just eyeliner, which I did too. Like, I remember it was like contacts and eyeliner for the under eye, and I thought like I was it. Like, you couldn't tell me anything. So then we started talking about like when we really started playing with makeup. So I started wearing makeup like senior year, and actually at the end of senior year, because I got my makeup done for prom and I didn't go to like MAC or anything. My friend literally came over and she did my makeup for me, and that's the first time I really wore like a full face of makeup, and I was like, ooh, I'm transformed. Like, I kind of loved it. And my sister and my mom never wore makeup, and no one in my family ever like really wore makeup, so I kind of really taught myself everything that I know. And not to say that I'm great, it was a lot of trial and error, but I really loved playing with makeup. I loved creating different looks, and literally I would come out the room and my dad would be like, you're a clown, like why are you wearing all that makeup? But to me it was just a form of expression, and I really truly loved it. and I always sit in my room and just recreate looks. And I think it was so crazy. I was telling my friend yesterday, I'm like, I'd go bold. Like I would get green shadows or blue shadows and I didn't care and just place them on my eye, and I just thought I looked so beautiful and I loved what makeup did for me. So next I'm gonna go in with my Cover FX translucent powder. I literally have so little left and I need to get more. I actually take my sifter off so that way it's just straight powder so I can get to it easier. I like to dip my brush, I like to put my sponge in it and then I just place it under the eye, but you want to make sure that you have no creases. So go back in with your sponge, and before you lay down the powder, just go in with your sponge and make sure there's no creases at all, because if you place your powder on top of your creasing, then it will just definitely set your creases. I think another thing that is so hard too with like YouTube is like when I'm recording, sometimes I mess up on my words and I feel the need to be like, okay, pause, let me take that scene again, and then it's just like, it's not a movie, like, I don't know. I just try to come across like so put together, and sometimes it's like, we're hanging out, this is makeup, like, I'm just trying to teach you, or trying to show you what I do actually. So I'm just going to place this every place that I have concealed, and I'm just pressing it into the skin. You know what's funny? I need to stop real quick. As I'm looking in the mirror, it's scaring me. I'm like, where's my sponge? I forgot to set my eyelids and they're creasing, and I can just see it in the monitor. So that's another thing not to forget. I was thinking that I would do it after, but no. So I got the Cover FX, and then just press it on with the sponge, press it into the lid. Again, pressing back in. That's definitely an important step you don't want to forget. A lot of people just set their whole face. Sometimes I don't, just because I'm a bit dry, so I just set where I conceal. So we definitely need to bring color back into the face. So for bronzer, I'm going to be using MAC's Give Me Sun, and I'm going to go in with this bronzer brush. It's kind of at an angle. This is from Morphe, and it's a M405 brush. So I'm going to dip my brush in it and just tap off the excess. And then I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to bronze my cheekbones. It's just focusing on bronzing the cheekbone. So I'm going to take more, and then I'm going to move to the other side of my cheek. I definitely don't know which part of makeup would be my favorite part, because right now I'm definitely getting pretty excited with this bronzer. Like, definitely bronzer snatches you. When I was doing makeup with my friend yesterday, she never wore bronzer. She literally does just the foundation, concealing, and maybe like blush, I think she said. And she definitely does the eyes and everything, but I have a lot of steps to my routine. So yesterday she was like, oh my god, like your face is so snatched, how do you do it? So I was like, bronzer, bronzer. And then she definitely used some yesterday, and it was a whole new world to her. And I was telling her sometimes I go a little overboard, but I don't know, I just love it. It definitely brings your face back to life. And I'm probably going overboard right now, but sorry. One thing I do fear is bronzer helmet, and that's when it's like just full like straight line like bronzer, and that's from just going. So I definitely try to do circular motions and make sure there's a spotlight of highlight from the concealer still left, but then definitely go around that. I'm gonna bring it and drag it down the temples. People definitely love to put bronzer underneath their chin and jawline, just because definitely in pictures it shows up where you just look very chiseled, and you can definitely see your cheekbones, and it's just a nice structure. So I want to tell you that I'm bronzing my nose because everything will be in sync, but I really do it because I'm a little insecure. So I'm just going to chisel out the nose. So you can start from the eyebrow and bring it down. I'm actually using a this is a 110 brush, and it's an angled brush, as you can see. So it definitely helps me create that line. And I go from the eyebrows, I was saying, bringing it down the bridge of my nose. And it will look darkest first, it's okay. You definitely just want to get the line down, and then you can focus on taking away the shadow that you created. But we're just gonna go here as well, from this brow and go downward. I haven't like mastered nose contouring yet because some people have their noses snatched. But I definitely do this in my routine. So I start doing the edges of my nostrils too, just to make it look a bit smaller. This is intense right now, I understand. And then I take my beauty sponge and I just pat it out. And the beauty sponge is still a bit wet. I don't want to say it's wet, but it's definitely a bit damp. And then I just take it, and I'm taking my sponge just so that way I can blend the shadow that I put down onto my nose into the skin. So next I'm going to go in with this Wet n Wild bronzer, and this is called Mellow Wine. And I'm going to take this Morphe 509 brush. So I'm going to sweep this around, tap it, and then I'm just going to go circular motions. So I definitely love the color that it's adding to the face. This is really beautiful. Next, I'm going to take my Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, and I'm just going to bring a little bit of life back into the face with the spray. I love it so much. So then I'm just going to air this out and let it dry down. So I'm going to take this Becca highlight, and this is in the shade Opal, and I'm going to take this Morphe R37 brush, place this in here, and then I'm going to go on the high points of my face. This is such a beautiful highlight. I take the highlight in a C shape, so I do take it up the temple, and then I round it out to the cheek, but I stop where the eye ends. And I just keep that there. So I do put it on the point of my nose, and I take it up the bridge. Up the bridge of the nose is my favorite place to highlight. I feel like I've said that 1,000 times in my videos. So then I also, oh, so beautiful. Take that here up the temple as well, and in a C shape. That's literally so beautiful. So I'm going to take this Morphe brush that I was using for blush because I want the two shades to marry together. I don't want it to be a harsh line of where you see the highlights start. So beautiful. So now that I have the highlight on my nose, I'm going to take more and go above my Cupid's bow. And I'm just going to highlight that. I know like Cupid's bow is not really necessary for some people. It's up to you whether you like it or not. I definitely do the chin. I find it very funny. There's a YouTuber named Desi Perkins, and she calls this chicken grease. Like, people are always like, why is your chin so shiny? I think that's funny. And then lastly, I just take this on my forehead. Circular motions above the brow. And just make the face really glowy. I love this look so much. So normally I would say like this is it. I'm going to put mascara and lip on, but I'm going to add a little shadow today just to add a bit more intensity. So I'm going to go into, I know it's messy, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. It is my fault, but sorry. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my Colourpop Cute AF palette, and this is, well, oh, they do have shades. Okay, so this shade Chauffeur, it's a brown. I want to say it's a cool tone brown. I'm going to take this Vasanti Concealer Brush, but I'm using it as an eyeshadow brush. Don't come for me. So I'm going to place that in there, and then I'm just going to take this all over the lid. So you can be as messy as you want. The point is to be all over the lid. We're just adding definition. Definitely, if you don't have a brown shadow, please feel free to use your bronzer. It's the same thing. So I'm gonna go back in. I'm just adding more intensity. So as I was saying, what would be nice and cool would be to take this highlight and place that in my inner corner. So, oh, it's too high in my inner corner. So, since that's a little much in the inner corner, I'm just going back in with that brush. And yes. Cute. Going back into that brown shade chauffeur and taking it on the other side. Do you guys hate that in Colourpop palettes there's no mirror, or do you not care? Because I literally hate living in New York City. Like, why was that necessary on a motorcycle? Because it's 60 degrees outside today. Fuck. I don't know. So the two things that make you pop, I'm actually messing on my face, so I probably still look pretty dull. So I'm gonna go in with the Monsieur Big mascara from Lancome, and this is it. And I'm gonna place this on my eye. I just sniffed it and it smells like nail polish, and that scares me. But it does wonders on the eyes. I always promised myself when I created a YouTube I wouldn't make a mascara face. And I actually hate mascara because I feel like I don't have a shaky hand, but I don't have patience. So I just want to brush this across my eye and get it over with. And sometimes I really fuck up my makeup by doing that. Also, are you like me and do your makeup and have nowhere to go? My bottom lashes are non-existent. I feel like this is a little trick, turning it this way and trying to get them. So I'm going to take Sweet Tea from Morphe and begin lining my lips. So you can always follow the outline of your lip. I usually do it first, and then I start going upwards more and just overdrawing a bit. Yes. Okay. Okay, so then I take a Maybelline lipstick, and this is in the shade Truffle Tease, and I just place it on the center of my lips. And I do it in a dabbing motion just so that way I don't get too much payoff. I do rub my lips together a lot too. I put a lip gloss on top. You could stop here, but I'm gonna go in with this Fashion Punch lip gloss by MAC, and this is a collaboration with Patrickstarrr. I'm gonna put the lip gloss in the center. So I'm gonna dab that as well, kind of actually go back and forth. But just in the center. I'm gonna do it on the top of my lip as well. I'm sorry, if you're wondering what I'm looking at, I have a mirror right in front of me. So I just want to put that on the center. And on the center where I created my little fake lip with my lip liner, I'm just going to place it there as well. Just so that way it adds a bit of like juiciness and it does look like it's my lip. So I definitely take the Beauty Blender and I just take this to go all over my skin to make sure that everything is blended together. And this is really it for the everyday makeup look that I would do. So that is it for the tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification bell and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!